Hi everyone out there. This is Black American Indian, and I am going to discuss a documentary that many of you probably already heard about. It was on ABC's 2020, and it was called Hidden America, Children of Pine Ridge. Now, I was not raised on a reservation. That's pretty much no surprise to most of you out there that have been watching my channel. But this is my opinion based on what I I viewed on the documentary. Now, I come from humble beginnings. I used to live in a trailer park, and I still have family that does. I still have family that scraping by and trying to make ends meet, and especially with this economy. So I'm no stranger to that type of lifestyle. Um, I'm from rural America. I wasn't raised in inner city, um, but people on Pine Ridge, and I'm sure other reservations, are living in horrible third world conditions. I mean, it's just ridiculous that anybody, regardless of what their background is and regardless of their ethnicity or whatever, should not be living in that type of environment. I mean, it's just, my heart was in tears, okay? And my eyes were like not dry for 1 second when I watched this documentary. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I am beyond pissed off right about now. And it's just sickening that the residents there are living in those conditions. Um, and I'm going to do everything in my power, not just to help the individuals on Pine Ridge, but anywhere I can, in everywhere, when if I have the capability of helping people. Now, of course, I'm not Oprah. I'm not rich by no means, okay? But I'm going to do everything in my power to help, even volunteer, actually going out there and helping build structure or things of that nature. Some years ago, I did go out to Colorado, Gardner, Colorado to be exact, and I went with a group of people, and we went out there for 2 weeks, and we help with inadequate housing. So we put down pipes for indoor plumbing. I remember we helped build a greenhouse. We helped build a smokehouse, and we help, I guess, patch up, if you want to say, the bunkhouse. And I just remember going out there thinking, okay, I'm gonna go out here. I'm gonna help those struggling the best way I know how, and then I'm gonna go back home. Mm-mm. I would have to say that was one of the best moments of my life. I went out there with an American mindset. I was going to go out there, do my business, and come back home. But I got more out of it than they actually got out of me, personally on a spiritual level. And I guess I can understand um, how some people um, need help, but it's not like, okay, give me your money and give me your time and go home. It's more like, okay, thank you for coming out. Thank you for helping. Now, this is my time to get back to you. And of course, it's not materialistic. It's not, um, tangible, but it's more on a spiritual level. Things that we don't necessarily experience in our everyday lives that such people do every day. Um, so that meant a lot to me. I remember The first 2 days, I really had a hard time with the schedule because we had an itinerary that went out the window. And what I mean is, we had this itinerary of all the things that uh, the center leader wanted us to do while we were out there. And nothing happened until around noon. We were supposed to start at about 9 a.m. and we were supposed to do such and such and this and that by this time. The only requirement we had to do on schedule was to pray early in the morning. We had to walk up the hill, and it was sacred burial ground. I think Aztec, if I'm not mistaken. Aztec burial ground, and we had to pray. And that was every morning, 6 a.m. sharp. But after we prayed and gave honor to Wankantanka, pretty much God, then we went on our merry way. Now, Gardner, Colorado, for those who don't know, is within the Four Corners region. It's a very, very beautiful, this particular culture center is called the Aslan Native American Cultural Arts Center in Gardner, Colorado. Operated and owned by Tomas Shash, Shash, okay? Yeah, when we went out there, long story short, we flew from Northern Virginia, so Washington Dulles Airport, to Denver, Colorado. And then from Denver, Colorado, we flew on a small plane to Colorado Springs. And then from Colorado Springs, we had to pretty much, we had to bum a ride. And I can laugh about it now, but at the time I was pissed. But we had to bum a ride from Colorado Springs Airport to Gardner, Colorado. Anybody that's familiar with this area know that that was about an hour drive, maybe 2 hours. One of the most uncomfortable rides out there because it was very bumpy and I had to pee very, very bad. Mind you, at this culture center, there was no indoor plumbing, so everything had to be done outside. So I'm coming from comfortable plumbing, running water to we ain't got no running water. So let's just say the first 2 days was difficult for me. But after that second day, I just chucked my watch. I mean, as you can see right now, I don't even have a watch. I mean, that was pretty much, that was when I got rid of my watch. And I never got another one. Because we were on a different time schedule. And it felt so good after the second day to relax and just to take in the sights and just being connected to the higher being and all of that jazz. And just to give you, I guess, a quick overview of my experience, I remember we were in the region where it was like the source of the spring water coming from the mountains, and we were instructed not to put our hands in it because he didn't want us to contaminate it or whatever like that. But he told us to bend over and kind of suck up the water. And at first I was like, I do not want to drink a fish or dirt. It was the best drinking water I've ever had. Now, there's bottled water, which I think really is tap water, bottled. And I do have a zero water filter. And a zero water filter pretty much is just that. It filters water and it's like 0 points or chemicals. Part 2 coming up.